My name is Diana Stiller, and I'm an economics teacher here at Norco High School. And the lesson we're working on today is to try and analyze the causes of the current fall in oil prices and discuss some of the possible impacts. This is the first time I've given the students a group of documents to work with rather than just one article at a time. So they had to figure out how to manage their time with that and how to put it all together. While you're reading them, you're looking for evidence that's going to help you come up with a thesis. Okay, you want to make sure you understand those things. Keep all these things in mind. Laws of demand and supply. Remember, this little thing sometimes comes in useful. Oil is a commodity. Remember what a commodity is? Oil is an energy source, which is part of the reason why it's a commodity. Remember the idea of profit incentive, scarcity and shortage, and the difference and how both of those things work. You remember what financial markets are? For example, the stock exchange. That's what you buy and sell stock, try and make money off it, right? Oligopolies and cartels. Okay, you're going to see some statistics from OPEC. Okay, and remember this idea of a global economy, domestic and international production and consumption. You're going to see that in the data that you're given. The complexity of the information that I'm giving them and what I'm asking them to do, it takes a couple days. The kids enjoy that. They like learning. They get to recognize their mastery of the information because they use it from day to day to day. What they learned on day one, they use on day two, and then they interpret it a different way. And Common Core encourages that rather than just straight memorization of facts. You guys are going to move into groups of 3 or 4. On your paper, you're just going to have 3 parts. One at the top is going to be the thesis. The biggest part is the evidence, and that's what you've been looking at for the last several minutes, those 9 pieces of evidence. This is how you organize it, how you put it together. Make sure, talk about it, make sure, check each other, make sure you've interpreted it correctly. Please ask me if you're not sure. Okay, you need to make sure you're good with the evidence before you can do a thesis statement. Remember, your thesis is the fact and opinion, and the opinion is supported by the evidence that I just gave you. Down on the bottom is what do you expect for the future, for oil prices, for some of these effects and impacts and different things like that, and that's just speculation based on evidence. What'd you see that makes you think the price is increasing?
There wasn't enough oil.
Where have you seen that there wasn't enough oil?
There simply wasn't enough oil.
So now based off of all this,
2008, which is right here, right? Did it stay up there? No. So that explains this, and it explains a little bit of this, but oil prices, look at the last little bit of this, and they've been falling. And that's what I want to find out. The 21st century skills they're developing is definitely critical thinking. They struggled with interpreting those pieces of information, the data that I gave them correctly. Be careful how you interpret this one. Yeah, you're looking at this?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What's a break-even price? What does that mean?
Like when it's out of equilibrium, when it goes up.
Yeah, okay. So this is exactly out of equilibrium. So this is the price that all of these countries need to sell their oil at just to break even.
Okay.
It doesn't do their profit, so keep that in mind, okay? So be careful. I'm not sure you want to use that right there.
Okay.
It's different. It's high-level stuff. They had to look at it carefully, read how the axes were labeled, read how the chart were labeled, and then they had to combine that with other pieces of information to come up with the evidence to support their thesis, and that's the critical thinking part.
Saying in 2008 that the oil demand surged, especially in fast-growing China. I feel like because China is now at like a steady pace, it's not going up. Like we're still producing as if they're going at 2008.
Write that down there. Excellent. Because that's going to be part of your future and part of looking at why prices are dropping. Good job. I think stuff like this works better with effective communication where they can talk about it. And walking around the room, I could listen to their conversations, and they were checking each other and challenging each other and supporting each other on how they'd interpret the information. So the communication skills and collaboration too, I suppose, are an important part of this. They need to know how to work effectively in groups.
Russia had an excess amount of gas. Prices are going down. And now 1970, I looked at that 1990 to 2010 period, and that's a really big 1990 right here. Once I start getting really even,
That isn't it. Something else starts going
Actually down because we were averaging the same exact for that time. We didn't need to produce more than we already do.
Look how much the world supply of gas has increased in that time period.
At that same time, so when the demand is high, like look at the board. So it shows that when the demand is high, the price is demand is high. Yeah. That's what I meant. Demand is high. Yes. Price.
See, that's what I was talking about. When these miles per gallon increase, there'd be less demand for gas. So the price increases that. But still, the supply is increasing a lot.
If you make it too expensive, the demand's going to go down. And not everybody's going to buy it, so you'll make less profit.
It's the first time I've given the students a group of documents to work with rather than just one article at a time. And so they had to figure out how to manage the lesson correctly. So I think from that perspective, it went really well. Okay, if you don't have that thesis started, you need to get it started and start writing. Okay? Start writing. The reason oil prices have fallen around the world is... Any ideas about your predictions for the future? Particularly about the price of oil.
The prices will go up since we'll have electric cars by then, and they won't be using gasoline or much oil in their motors.
Okay?
I'm thinking it's going to go down because of alternative fuels, and if the prices start going up, people are going to start using the substitution effect.
Okay, exactly. Substitution of... Oh, you get your very own sticker for that. Good job. What about the price of oil in general around the world, though? What do you think?
I was going to say it's going to go up because people all over the world continue to use it every day.
Increased production will lead to a shortage in oil, thus causing a rise in price due to the low supply and high demand.
So decreased production would lead to that.
Well, they're saying that production's so high right now that the supply of oil is going to evolve because we're producing more than we
Was that in the documents I gave you?
It says that high production. Yeah, it says production.
But it doesn't say anything about running out of oil? Or is that outside information you're thinking of?
That's outside.
Yeah, that's outside information you're thinking of.
I think with demand increasing steadily with the supply, but it's not as much, that once we get to where the mile per gallon gets to like 50, 60 where they want it, then with electric cars and stuff, the auto supply is demand is going to drop, supply is going to rise, along with the price.
As far as the content in this specific lesson, we'll finish that tomorrow. There is one article, and the headline of it, the title of it is about why our oil price is dropping and why should we care about it. And so they'll read the author's thesis and compare that with their own. Because that's the first part of this, to make sure they look at the evidence accurately and interpret it accurately. And that's what I've been telling them all along when they do articles. They have to do that for me first, and then they can tell me what they think about it. Talk about the price. As it turns out, the prices continued to drop. When I introduced this at the beginning, they've been doing this with one article at a time, which is a little easier for them because they know right away they can find the author's thesis and see how the author has used the evidence to support that thesis. This was a little bit different because what I gave them was the basic information that the author used to develop his thesis. And I haven't been doing that with them. So this was not easy for them today. It's different than what they've done before. But I liked it.